And welcome back to another episode of The Bunker. So today we're going to go slightly larger on medical kits, and we're going to review the Helikon-Tex slightly larger, I'm sure it's got a name, but slightly larger medical kit. Once again, tactical nylon, it's something to carry. So this could probably last a group of 5 people plus, so it's pretty big for an individual pack, unless you're the medic and you're the medic in the group, in which case then this could probably serve you better than a small individual first aid kit that we've probably covered. So looking at other posts, and you'll see we're going to cover other small kits. So this is a slightly, I'd say probably a medium kit. Once again, Helikon-Tex, really good brand. It's nylon, so it's really just a shell that you're going to carry a kit in. However, you've got to look at the quality. So 500D Cordura, best stuff, so you know it's going to last you a long time. So once it starts being used, then it's not going to rip on you, it's not, the seams aren't going to come apart. Plus the fact it's got YKK zips. You need a zip to work, you don't need zips to jam, especially on a first aid kit, and the cheaper zips out there tend to either come apart, so sometimes these get stuffed a little bit too full with all the gear. They're the best zips, aren't they? Let's face it. Excellent piece of paracord on the tags here. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes you've got gloves. Sometimes I like to put colour coded on here just so you know where to grab. I mean, we're not in a tactical environment anymore, so there's no reason why you can't have a little bit of brightness on here, especially in low light conditions. When you're trying to grab for the zip, you want to know where it is. Other than that, nice nylon on here, so you can either have it over your shoulder, you can have it around your waist. There's a bit of a bum bag. You've also got the mole here, so you've got some nice pouches on the back. Mole onto this way, vertical, horizontal, horizontal, vertical, whichever way you like. On the front, you've got your Star of Life, your basic medical emblem. So anyone who doesn't know it's a first aid kit, you see that on something, and it's a first aid kit. Got my badge on here that I did a long time ago. Obviously, if you've got your own kit, then you can have your own blood group on here, just in case you have a massive transfusion and someone has to save you. Otherwise, kind of looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Excellent. So on these large kits, we can start looking about tactical shears or shears. If you need to get to someone, basically it's A, B, C, D, E. E for exposure. Now that's exposure as in climatic exposure, but you also need to expose the wound. As with PPE, you kind of need your shears quite handy, because it's kind of be one of the first things you're going to get. So this is quite nicely sheathed. It's not going to come out, nice and tight. These are really good shears. So yeah, you can have small scissors. These are atraumatic, so you can actually go under someone's garment, or under, these were made for dressing, so you can actually go underneath the dressings without hurting the patient. So that's why they're called atraumatic, because they're non-traumatic. Nice and sharp, nice and grippy, nice and strong. That's on the outside. On the inside, open it up. Once again, as with the other types of devices, you've got this nice open pack. You need to get something quickly, that's what it is. Nice pull on here, plus you've got further bits and pieces in here that you can have. Sharpie pen, always need a Sharpie pen. If you're going to put a tourniquet on someone, you really need to be locating time on them as to when you apply the tourniquet. It's the basic rules of tourniquet use. In here, once again, you've got a survival blanket. We've been through that before, but basically, you know, you've got to have first aid gear that's going to serve as more than one purpose. Just remember, one is none, 2 is more, 3 is plenty. So go with that with your first aid kit and you won't go far wrong. So with your survival blanket, yes, it's a survival blanket. You can use it when it gets cold, and bear in mind it does get cold in Australia now and again, but you can use that as a hypothermia blanket. You can also use it as a shelter. So hyperthermia, too much heat, majority of the time in Australia, it's hot and sunny out there. Remember, E for exposure. So E for exposure means you can expose the wound, but E for exposure also means exposure to the elements. You can use your basic shiny tarp there as a shelter from the sun. It's also good for a signalling device if you're out walking and you want someone to come and get you. So this is the other part of the Helikon-Tex unit. Okay, nice pouch in here. You've got some survival or signal type of instructions, or you can have some first aid instructions in here if you're a little bit cloudy with your first aid skills. Once again, nice grab ring, nice and rubbery, so it obviously if you do have bloody hands or if it are wet, then it's a nice grip on there. Obviously you've got the Star of Life on there, which denotes the fact it's a medical pack. Once again, its own individually kit. Then you 500D Cordura, fantastic, nice and strong. You've got a nice Velcro loop on there, and you've got bits and pieces on there. Open it up, pancake style. Then, as I said before, it is what it is. Tap it on there, put it apart. Here you have your basic contents. Everything in here is fairly standard. Once again, as I keep on saying, it's great having a fancy first aid kit, but you really need to pack it yourself. You really need to know what's in here, because come the hour when you have to grab something first aid wise, you need to know exactly what's in here. It's alright buying a nice commercial kit, as often people do, and we'll go through that with our survival gear. If you don't know what's in it, you won't know how to use it. You won't know where it is in an emergency. And as with survival, with medical issues, it's first aid, isn't it? So some of this stuff you're going to have to use in an emergency quite quickly. So that's why you need to know where it is. That's good with this design. You can pretty much open it up and see everything all at once. Small pockets on either side. You've got pockets for your gloves. Remember, PPE, no blood on me. It's your basic form of survival. You should be looking after yourself before you look after anyone else. You've got your basic dressings in here. You've got your wound wipes in here. My chosen one is the betadine, as we'll go through when we do our bush skills out there. So betadine wipes, you can use them for a multitude of uses. Basic dressings, large dressings, you can use these on large wounds, like if you get abrasions or burns, then obviously you can pop that up on there. Your basic compression bandage, we've gone through that before. As I said, 1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 is more. You need to know exactly what to do with these, and you need one item needs to be doing a multitude of things. With your crepe bandage or elasticated bandage, you can use it as it's intended for, and that's for your basic spraying or spraying. You can use it as a pressure and mobilisation bandage. You can use it as a wound packing. You can use it as a makeshift splint. You can also use it as kindling, probably in a fire situation. Basic eye irrigation. Well, I prefer, you should be taking water with you anyway, but these are quite nice packs that can just get some force of direction of some saline or some water, sterile water, in an eye if you've got a slight eye infection, or if you've got some foreign body in your eye. It's really good to wash it out. Syringe, if you know anyone, you can probably get these in chemists anyway. A nice syringe, also used for wound irrigation. If you've got a wound that needs quite high pressure, you can get that with a nice 5mm syringe. Nothing bigger, don't need anything bigger than that. Another form of crepe bandage. So you've got two forms of crepe bandage. This is a hospital grade crepe bandage. This one here is a bit more of a commercial type. They're both the same. They're elasticated bandages, so they do exactly the same as the description says. They're bandages and they're elastic. You can call them crepe bandages, you can call them pressure mobilisation bandages. It's the same. They do the same job, exactly the same purpose. Wound dressings, sprains, pressure mobilisation bandage, or even internal packing if you get a deep wound, laceration, or God forbid, a gunshot wound. Tourniquets. You can carry tourniquets with you. Obviously, commercial tourniquets are the way to go. Current Australian Resusc Council guidelines indicates that we can use tourniquets because they are lifesavers. Let's face it, if you're on a beach and you have a marine interaction with a shark or other larger animal, then tourniquet is going to save your life. Once again, you need to know how to use these tourniquets. We'll cover that through on another bush survival course. We'll go through the use of tourniquets, because if you use a tourniquet incorrectly, it can in fact kill people, which is one of the reasons why they stopped promoting tourniquets. So if a tourniquet is not on tight enough, you'll actually make the patient bleed out. Not good. So you need to know how to use a tourniquet. Tourniquet correct application, you can get cat tourniquets, you can get soft T tourniquets. There's so many tourniquets at the moment, all battle proven, and let's face it, they've made their way into civilian EMS systems. So for the like of it, the better the tourniquet, then the more you want to carry, or the situation you want to carry it in. Tampon, well, what's it for? I know some people say you can use it for gunshot wounds. You can't, but do they have a use in a first aid type of scenario? Well, yeah, I think they do actually. I mean, you've got any females travelling with you, sometimes they don't carry their tampons with them, sometimes the female period comes round and it's not pleasant walking out or being out anywhere in the wilderness in that type of environment, so they can be used for the designated purpose. You can also use them for tamponade, so if you get a nosebleed, they can go up the nose as a nosebleed. If you open them out, then they're just basically cotton wool, so you can use it as a makeshift dressing, or in a survival situation, these are really, really good kindling. Plus it's all wrapped up in a nice waterproof container, excellent to have around. So basically a slightly larger first aid kit that you can carry with you as your team medic, or if you're going slightly longer on slightly bigger expeditions. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like us, subscribe to us, watch some more videos, and see you back at the bunker.